Hey guys and gals, welcome to my YouTube channel. This is BNSF 6951. I am Vinny and I will be your host. This channel is all about model railroading. Model railroad layouts, model railroad layout updates, run and op sessions, tips, tricks, and techniques on scratch building, and kit bashing. I also do some rail fanning, and on Friday nights at 8 p.m. I do a live stream. Everybody is welcome to my live stream. There's a lot of stuff that goes on there, chit chats and all that kind of stuff. Sometimes I'll show a kit build, sometimes we'll just talk about model trains and so on and so forth, guest appearance and all kinds of stuff like that. If this sounds interesting to you, please hit that subscribe button, and after you hit that subscribe button, please hit that bell so you'll get notified when I do a video upload or when I do a live stream. By the way, my live streams are on Friday nights at 8 p.m. Eastern Time. And after all of that, and I know I'm asking you guys for an awful lot, but please hit that thumbs up. That'll help my analytics with YouTube. With all that being said, here's a few words from my sponsor, and now we'll get on with the video. So stay tuned. We'll be This Vinny Vid production brought to you by Yankee Dabbler. For all your model railroad needs, check out Yankee Dabbler. Don't forget, 7% discount with BNSF 6951. And by Highways and Byways, awesome street graphics for your roads and streets on your model railroad layout. If you guys are looking for sophisticated model railroad electronics, Logic Rail Technologies has what you need. For a 5% discount on certain items, use code BNSF6951. Alright guys, now it's time for the next step on your layout. Trees! I have been dealing with Bob for 7 years now, and he does excellent work on his trees. So if you need some trees on your layout, check out Long Shadow's Trees. Tell him the cuz sent you. Alright guys and gals, this is going to be a continuation of the layout expansion that I'm doing on my layout. I'm coming up with some sort of a organized work plan. I decided that I'm going to work on my layout on weekends and work on other projects during the week, such as the one I am doing for Mr. Roy Eltham. Anyhow, with all that being said, we're going to start here and we'll be working on the Williams part of the layout, which is the terminus of the P-line sub. Anyhow, what I've done so far, let me get you down here so you can see what I've done so far, is this turnout was always here. I put that, let's see if you can get down here. This turnout was always here because I knew that I was going to do something in this fashion over here. Anyhow, I did add 3 turnouts and they are connected. Let's see, where am I? Right there. Okay. And they are connected pretty much down the entire track. So now I'm working on connecting whatever's left to be connected up, and then start on the electrical part of the getting it. Alright guys, the first thing we're going to do is we're going to install this turnout. It's not connected to this track yet, but I did cut this track. So, I need to do a little filing on here to get rid of the burrs. So my rail joiners will go on here, and there's quite a bit of burr on there. I'm just going to go ahead and, I'm not going to take the track apart from the turnout that's already hooked up to. And you can feel when, if your fingernail catches on it, it's too big. That one's gone. I mean, these Code 55 rail joiners, some of them are really tight. I think it's the micro-engineering rail joiners. Code 55 rail joiners are really, really tight. So what I would usually do is, on the track, I would just give it a little bit of a 45 on the side. Just a hair, just so the rail joiners will slide on a little bit easier. And it may be hard to do it when it's still attached at the other end, but you get the idea. Okay, so now take the tape off because I know basically where it's got to go. And where is my marker? Put my center line in, so I know that that's where that's got to go. And now I'll take my track out, and I will check to make sure there's no burrs on the rails, because this will be the time to clean them up. These are brand new, so okay, that's good. Now I'm going to put the joiners on this end, because the less I wiggle this, the better off I'll be. But Bruce has made a little change on it. He actually put a PC tie at the very end here, which is a good idea. It makes it more sturdy, and I appreciate that, Bruce. You did a good job on that. Anyhow, I have my rail joiners laid out, so we're just going to go ahead and start putting them on here. And I'll do all 6 rails. You guys can see what you're doing, what I'm doing actually. And that one's on. Next. My fingers are not working the way they used to. Definitely got to fix some lighting in this room. Alright, come on. There you go. This one's getting there. I'm not going to show you how I install all of this track. I'm just going to show you this first one, and then the rest will just be exactly the same. Now I like to supply positive and negative wires to all 6 rails. It's been working for me. I don't know if that's the way to do it, but it definitely works for me, so I'm going to continue on doing it that way. Okay. Now, you guys got to remember that this is the way I do it. You can come up with any variations of your own. As long as the job gets done and it gets done right, you're okay. You don't know how many times I've planted one of these rail joiners into my finger. Alright, so now this turnout has all rail joiners on it. So the next step is for me to put this on. And by the way, where these rail cars are, that is continuous all the way through at this point. Again, I will show you what the new extension is going to be after we get this sorted out. So, this guy here back on his center line. Make sure everything's good there. Huh. Imagine that. Okay. Alright. Now I need to put my extra eyeballs on so I can actually see what's going on down here. Like I said, the lighting in this room is not the greatest. Oh, I almost forgot. Before I put this on here, what we're going to do is I'm going to put my piece of piano wire into the hole of the turnout at this point, so it's a lot easier. So what I'm going to do basically is I'm just going to take this and take a little small pair of needle nose pliers, and it's going to give us a 90-degree bend up. Doesn't have to be exactly 90 degrees, but that works. And I don't know what size this is, but what I'm going to do is I'll leave it long until I'm ready to cut it. And I believe it fits in these holes with no modification. So let's see. Come on. I may have to widen the hole up a little bit. Well, actually, the idea is to leave the hole the right size. Come on, there you go. Alright. Before I make the hole any bigger, I will take my file and I will file from where the previous cut was. Because if there's a burr on there, it won't fit into the hole of the turnout. It's hard to hold on to this little piece. Alright. I feel like, I know I stabbed myself. I feel blood, but I don't see where it's at. Alright. So, let's try this again. All right. All right. Since that did not work, by filing down the piano wire, the next step is to use this little handy dandy drill motor and actually make the hole bigger. So this is where you need to be really, really careful. I don't know if you guys can see me down here. Alright. That's the hole right there. I believe I got this tool in Amazon thanks to Richard Hall. He was using it on one of his projects and I liked it. And for this kind of work right here, it's really cool. It's actually a screwdriver, but you could buy a chuck for it to make it a drill. And it's a slow turn, so it's not really messing anything up. Problem is I have a bad drill bit. This drill bit's been a lot of work. What killed this drill bit was drilling into this plywood. I don't know if you guys can hear it. The motor is actually bearing down right now. And it's got it backwards and forwards. Come on, baby. I think we're all the way through. Alright, where's my piano wire? It goes through this way. There you go. Alright, so now I just have to put it through the opposite way. Come on, Vinny. Alright. Alright guys, I know you can't see this, but I do have the piano wire in there. It took a little bit of doing. Even with the turnout out, it had a problem doing it. Now, my next piece is the long section here. And what I usually do is I will cut a couple ties out. And I always save my ties because those ties are going to go back under the track later on. So we're going to just hobby knife and just find where it's connected and snap and snap. Now the other end's going to have to get a short piece just to give it the length that I want. So we'll do the same thing on this one here. Now this is a brand new piece of track, so it does not have to be filed, but I do just give it a little bit, just to be sure that it slides onto the rail joiners nice and easy. I hope I got enough rail joiners because I don't have very many left, as you can see in this little vial here. Alright, so I'm just going to give this a quick little run over with the file. And again on this side. Alright, so now this guy should, and I use that word should very loosely, fit. Get this out of the way and slide right onto these rail joiners. And look at that. How nice that was. So pretty. I love it. Alright. So now we're going to take care of this piece. Now this piece here needs to get cut. Trying to leave it as long as I can to get maximum amount of parking space. There's going to be 2 stub end tracks. This track right here will be one of the stub ends, but then this one that comes off of here will be for the Amtrak service. That's going to be like a commuter train from Phoenix to Williams and then back. Anyhow, I'm going to go ahead and cut this piece up and install him, and I'm going to go ahead and install all the rest of this, and then I will show you the new extension and why I put it there. So stay tuned for that. We'll be back shortly. Alright, as we continue on with this project of Williams, Arizona, you can see way down there I got about 4 different turnouts that lead into these 4 track right here. The first one out here is going to be the main line, the beginning of the P-line sub. The second one is going to be basically a runaround and storage track, arrival departure track, setup track, whatever you want to call it. And then we'll have 3 stub end track here. And then this front track right here will be for Amtrak. And then this track right here will be for a couple Grand Canyon coaches and maybe a Grand Canyon engine parked there. And then this is a stand-in for the station that's there. The station that's there is pretty long and skinny. I need to find pictures of it. Maybe I'll have to scratch build that. And as well as the hotel that we stayed at when we were up there. These are just going to be stand-ins for now. Those are the overland models that I have on my Amazon page. I do remember there being some sort of a circle in this area right here, and this part right here was all grass, and as well as grass in front of the hotel right there. Anyhow, to carry on with this, I did add one more little section that connects these 2 track. So if you want to see what that is, stay tuned. We'll be back in the future. Alright, as we continue on with this project of Williams, Arizona, you can see way down there I got about 4 different turnouts that lead into these 4 track right here. The first one out here is going to be the main line, the beginning of the P-line sub. The second one is going to be basically a runaround and storage track, arrival departure track, setup track, whatever you want to call it. And then we'll have 3 stub end track here. And then this front track right here will be for Amtrak. And then this track right here will be for a couple Grand Canyon coaches and maybe a Grand Canyon engine parked there. And then this is a stand-in for the station that's there. The station that's there is pretty long and skinny. I need to find pictures of it. Maybe I'll have to scratch build that. And as well as the hotel that we stayed at when we were up there. These are just going to be stand-ins for now. Those are the overland models that I have on my Amazon page. I do remember there being some sort of a circle in this area right here, and this part right here was all grass, and as well as grass in front of the hotel right there. Anyhow, to carry on with this, I did add one more little section that connects these two tracks. So if you want to see what that is, stay tuned. We'll be back in a few. I wanted to represent the eastbound transcontinental BNSF railway line that connects up to Williams for the junction at Williams. That is where the P line either starts or ends depending on which way you're going. So what I did was I added this. Let me back this camera out a bit. I added this section right here on the north wall. And as you can see, it's right when you walk into the room. So I think my layout's going to be the most hazardous layout anybody has ever had. Anyhow, there'll be a turnout up there with enough room for 3 locomotives to get there. And yes, I will be putting a fascia up so I don't run the locomotives off the end. There'll be enough for 16 cars in there. And it's going to have a passing siding. And like I said, this is going to be the junction to Williams. There'll be a crossover right there. And then the back track, like I mentioned earlier, will be the one that will be going through Williams. I also am going to represent the eastbound transcon by going back that way, and I'll put scenery in front of it and back of it so it looks like it just disappears back there. Anyhow, the next step for me to do in this layout right now, or this section of the layout, is to do wiring. Yay! My favorite thing. Anyhow, stay tuned and we'll get back to it in a minute. Alright guys, so now I have pretty much completed the electrical work on here. As you can see, here's another barrier strip, and bus line will continue on here. Now I did run out of barrier strips, so I had to improvise and use some suitcase connectors, connected up to the bus line to power up some of the track that's up on the next level. Anyhow, it keeps on continuing around here, and here's our next barrier strip. Now it was funny with this one because the track on top is so close to the backboard, and it sits right on top of the support. So I had to drill straight down first, and then from underneath I had to drill on an angle up in order to get the wire in the right place. Anyhow, we'll continue on with this. And as you can see, there's my bus line all the way down to here. And then the final connection is this track back here that the engine locomotives will park on. Again, I had a problem with the drilling a hole here, so I decided not to do the same thing. So what I did was I just added the wire. As you can see it right there, I just soldered it to the tail end of the track. Anyhow, let's get on with the rest of this video. I'm going to do a short test run, and I will conclude this video. So stay tuned, and we will be back shortly. Well, alright guys, so I finished all the electrical stuff, and now I want to do a couple of test runs. And we are going to go through all the turnouts here and in succession of the tracks from 1, 2, 3, and 4. And then we'll hit this turnout, and then we'll hit this turnout. So, with all that being said, let's get this show on the road. Alright, so we're going to do this one first. Now, keep in mind that I do not have all my ground throws in, so I may have a couple of derailments along the way, but we'll try to avoid that. Anyhow, here we go. We're going to run at scale speed. This is going into track 1. And slow down. Now this is one that I was having problems with earlier because I don't have a ground throw, but now we're going into still track 1, which is a stub-in storage track. Alright, and now we'll come on back and we'll go into the storage track 1A. reduce the speed up just a little bit. So when you come into this track, probably the one you're not going to be able to see because it's right under the camera. But yeah, you saw a little bit of that. Alright. And now we're going to the final track here, which is going to be the Amtrak arrival track. And again, I don't have a ground throw here, so we may have a derailment. I like the way it goes across these turnouts, nice and smooth. Alright. And now we're heading on over to track number 2. Yeah, see, I got a derailment right there because of no ground throw there. So let's see if we can get him to pass this guy. And that I kind of knew that was going to happen, but I forgot to hold the throw bar over. Am I still up? Sorry about that. Alright, so I knew it was going to happen on the turnout, so it was not a surprise to me. But anyhow, we'll head on to track number 2 now. That's track number 2. Now we'll head on over to track number 3. I am expecting some guests towards the middle of this month, and I want to get this operational so we can have a little fun when that person gets here. And you guys watching my live streams, you probably know who that person's going to be. But anyhow, we're heading down track number 3 right now. And track number 3 is going to be kind of like another arrival track, if you will, because it is hooked up on the other end. That with a turnout that will switch it over from one track to the other. So I do have a crossover on the other side, which you'll see here in a few minutes. Now we're going track number 4, which is again, which would be, in my opinion, the main line of the P-line sub. This is the town of Williams that we're in right now, and I do have a hotel that sits here and a train station that sits there. And when the train gets out of view, I'm going to turn the camera around and we'll look at the other side of the extensions that I did in this video. Alright, right there. And now we'll go ahead and alright guys, this area is going to be called Williams Junction because it will be where the P-line sub will break off with the main line. This is the transcon, the eastbound transcon right here. And again, my ground throws are there, but they're not really operational right now. I just want to show you that it is working. And we'll come on back the other way. Got to figure out why it's doing that on that one particular switch. I'm going to try and do a crossover right now. I don't know how well that's going to work, but we will see. Because like I said, the ground throw is not really hooked up. Alright. Come on the other way. This guy too needs to come over. And what we'll do is I'll set the turnout to go here if I can clear some of these cars. And then we'll go back on the arrival departure track. And there you go. And now it'll go to, it could be a pretty long run around if I wanted it to be or whatever. But anyhow, hope you guys and gals enjoyed this video. And as always, your questions, comments, inputs, subs, shares, and likes are always welcome. For now, that's all, folks. BNSF 6951 out.